Do you guys remember that before the unaliving of Witness D, he went to the ENCA and wanted to expose the top officials of crime intelligence?
So we're seeing the link that's coming in there. And before Marius, of course, was gunned down, he sent Yusuf a voice note saying that he wants to expose people in SAPS, in the higher structures and in government. So basically inferring that this tobacco illicit trade goes all the way into senior government officials, and it's really deeply, rootly embedded in this.
And then later on, he was unalived. And what makes the matters worse is that his family was subsequently threatened following his unaliving. And the sister even said, these are top officials that are threatening us.
Context in that as well. We have been speaking to Natasha van der Merwe, the sister of Marius. It now makes sense why she was previously telling us, and exclusively so on ENCA, that she was being threatened by people who are in the higher echelons of SAPS. It didn't make sense then, but it's beginning to make sense as to who was connected to Viandre, what kind of dirty work was he doing, and of course the contracting behind his work, because it's also alleged in the papers that he was basically giving information to Sayed and through Khan about rival tobacco giants as well, and they would go and intercept some of these trucks, and their consignments or exhibits would be confiscated.
That's the question you should ask yourself as a viewer. Who is this person? And with the explosives that are being revealed now at the Madlanga Commission regarding General Khan, I think we might have our guy. In this video, I wanted us to actually talk about the testimony of Khan and how there's a lot that is going on, guys, from Julius Mkwanazi to the Sisters of Witness D. Tobacco is a lot. Let us get to the video.
The chats suggest that General Khan arranged for Mr. Pretorius to work for Mr. Sayed, where he would conduct raids on the competitors of Carnilinx in the illegal tobacco industry.
So, from last week, when Khan was unfortunately shot, it just so happened that he had to appear before the Madlanga Commission. And his testimony is one of the very well anticipated testimonies, especially after that affidavit was made public and we saw the chats of Khan with different individuals, from Julius Malema to Mo Sayed to Fani Molefe, Emotion Mashazi. There's just a lot that came out, and everybody could not wait for his testimony at the Madlanga Commission. And I'm telling you, the wait was worth it, because the information that is being revealed is crazy. It's out of this world. I've been in shock almost every time when I would hear the testimony of General Khan. And even though now he's in hospital, he was shot, there's just a lot of sketchy things regarding his case, of which I think that deserves an episode of its own, because there's just a lot of sketchy things regarding him being shot, from that yellow note to laptops being found in the car, in the spare wheel. Hey guys, a lot is happening with that guy.
However, Pule, you're right. We just received this internal police note, and it goes through the events of what happened last night. According to the report submitted to the police leadership, the provincial, or rather the district commissioner, proceeded to the hospital where he met the victim's wife. She informed the district commissioner that she received a message from an unknown person that Major General Khan had sustained gunshot wounds to the abdomen, and that his laptop and cell phone had allegedly been robbed. Upon arrival, Major Khan, according to the report, was already in theatre undergoing medical treatment. Major General Kubeke, the district commissioner, then contacted the person from crime intelligence, who then alerted the provincial commissioner, who indicated that he already left for the hospital. Thereafter, they proceeded to the crime scene, where they met a warrant officer from Norwood Police Station and also an eyewitness. Now, according to the eyewitness, while driving down 3rd Avenue in Houghton, he noticed, and I quote, an Indian man lying on the road with his legs still inside his vehicle. Initially believing the man to be intoxicated, he approached him. Quote, the victim identified himself as Firoz Khan and informed him that he had been shot in the abdomen. The eyewitness then contacted a security company requesting that an ambulance be dispatched. While waiting for medical assistance, a male arrived at the scene and introduced himself as the colonel from crime intelligence. The eyewitness could not confirm who had informed the colonel from crime intelligence about the incident. The Major General was then taken to Mill Park Hospital. He had been driving a grey Suzuki Baleno with a registration, which was found parked on the side of the road. The report further says that the local criminal record center processed the scene. They then say, and I quote, "A handwritten yellow note was also recovered at the scene. The note stated that a case of defeating or contempt of court should be opened against Colonel Korombi and General Khumalo and investigated by IDAC." The report continues, the vehicle was thoroughly searched and the HP laptop was recovered from the spare wheel compartment. The vehicle was taken to the Norwood police station. So, yeah.
And also, I was asking myself, where is the whistleblower? Because where is the witness? Because the witness is the one that actually saw everything, including the note that implicates Dumisani Khumalo. Guys, I'm telling you, the drama is unending when it comes to General Khan. And I think that probably now you're watching the video like, oh, can it get worse than that? Oh, of course, it does get worse, because now when we go inside Pakati, the Madlanga Commission corridors, it gets even worse. And guys, if I can tell you how excited I am to actually share some of the things in this episode, I don't know, maybe you might not understand, but I'm so excited because guys, it's coming together. The way things are so connected, it's insane. And I want you to stay throughout this video so that you can understand how everything is so connected, especially with Ekurhuleni, guys. Hey, guys, Ekurhuleni. It's the dumping place. It's the place where they do everything. Like, it's happening there. Let us first start with the first day of the testimony. Mazoti was like, you know what? I'm going to defend myself. You ain't about to throw me under the bus. I'll defend myself before you even start. He spoke about Carnilinx and the fact that, yes, they've been involved in illicit tobacco and that they've been, having problems with SARS, but they fixed that, all of that. Just trying to say, you don't have to call me at the Madlanga Commission. This is my side of the story because, guys, abantu bayabalega. People are one by one, getting one, like, one year. It's getting hectic. It's getting hot. It's bad because where is Vally? It is said that Ismail Vally is gone. Yes. And it is said that also Mo Sayed is gone. And we know, if we're going to talk about the law, I know that some of you are like, blah, blah, blah. No, we know the law. Blah, blah, blah. I know some of you might say that. I also know the law, guys. And it's going to be hard to extradite those people. It's going to be hard to bring them back to South Africa if they're indeed gone.
We know that Mo Sayed, from what we are told, left South Africa on the same day as that court papers came out with the WhatsApp chats between him and Major General Khan and others. And we know that he's apparently out of the country. Whether he's going to return or not.
Where is he, Yusuf? Where is he?
Well, we are told he's in the UAE in Dubai. We also know, for a matter of fact, that Ismail Vally, the other person mentioned here, the businessman who had links with Khan, left South Africa 3 years ago after apparently a tax investigation. He's also not in the country. So a lot of people are running for the hills, but even on Rule 3, the Rule 3 notice served on Mo Sayed wasn't answered. We know that Mazoti gave an affidavit and we're still waiting for parts of that affidavit to be made public.
Mazoti came, defended himself, and we're like, okay, Mazoti, let us get to the testimony. Then we found out about the tenders that Mo Sayed, Fani Molefe, and Khan were actually involved in. These people were literally looking for all the tenders. But that's the weird part. They are dealing with the Carnilinx that deals with tobacco and all of that. But guys, they got the PPE tender. What? I don't know. Guys, hey, what? Tobacco and PPEs. They were supplying masks and stuff. These are the people they sell, but they're also providing health stuff. Hey, Ziyakhala South Africa. It's hectic because that's what's going on. They provided those services and they got the tender with the assistance of Fani Molefe. Fani Molefe, guys, his role in this whole thing is very important because Fani Molefe is the head of procurements of nation. He was the head of procurement at the National Treasury, and then later he became the subdivisional commissioner of supply chain management with rank of a lieutenant general.
Mr. Sayed says, Slums Brew, it's Wednesday already. Please push Gen 1 and Pilot to finalize PPE story. These guys are too slow. General Khan replies at 5:59 a.m. I will call Pilot. At 6247, It's part of the same series of chats, also on the 4th of August. At 7:01 a.m., Mr. Sayed says, we need to get an order in this week while the need for PPE is still in season. And General Khan says, I agree. Mr. Sayed responds, Brew, I need email address of pilot. And General Khan then sends him the email address of pilot. And you'll see that the email address that's reflected on the message is Molefe Fani, F-A-N-I.
Well, they're now using him. And we know that Khan is the deputy head of crime intelligence. And now they're using their powers to ensure that these people of tobaccos, they actually get the tenders. Mr. Pilot, aka Fani, was there assisting them, ensuring that these people get these PPE tenders. And you might think, no, it's enough. It's all, that was not it. That they were like, cousin, we are coming for all the tenders. We don't want 1 or 2 tenders. We want all of the tenders.
Commissioners, this set of chats on this particular tender on PPE shows several things. It shows that Mr. Sayed, a private businessman, Carnilinx director, wanted access to these SAPS masks orders, at the very least. But he, as we know, he sent samples of more than masks. General Khan responded to all of his messages, acting as a facilitator. And on the face of it, he is facilitating. He's not responding as a senior police officer who's distancing himself from the improper approach that is being made to him to facilitate access to the contract.
They also then applied to IPED, which was the tender that wanted 66 guards, an IT tender for cyber technology. Sayed owned a security company. Their role in that tender was to develop a rules and engine to manage things like loan and all of those things. And the value of that tender was 280 million rands. Become
apparent why MTN, I mean, this is, again, just to remind you, related to this master contract and the implementation of the contract, or particular aspect of the contract. And it is an IT, it's not just IT related, it is also about procuring handsets and data bundles and the like. So here Mr. Sayed says, what time is pilot seeing the guys from MTN? General Khan says, I'm going to ask him. And Mr. Sayed says, okay.
There was a draft at MOU that was seen that was supposed to be concluded between Siberia and the company called Smada. So these people were literally, hey guys, the way Advocate Hassim showed us those people, they were literally coming for all the tenders and the money. We're gonna deal with EMPD, guys, just in itself, because it depends its own segment. Because that's how bad EMPD has went with regards to the role of Khan, Mo Sayed, and how they literally were capturing everything there at Ekurhuleni.
He continues by saying, we have to conclude as pilot can easily resolve, then we good if he signs. And the next message, so we get 92.4 odd, 280, 30%. And the next message, how are we splitting on our side? And then he says, yes, maaf, meaning sorry, 33.3, suggesting that it is a one-third split. So there are 3 payments. So out of the 280. So this is the seeming arrangement for this MOU and how the SMADA beneficiaries will split the proceeds.
And then there's also another one called Ismail Vally. So Advocate Hassim spoke about that a lot extensively yesterday regarding the auto parts and how they were very interested in that tender. That one, guys, the way they orchestrated everything, they orchestrated it from the ground up. Their plan was to ensure that, you know what, the specifications everything is up to what we want. Yeah, guys, our country is corrupt in all ways. You even change the spec. You even change the requirements to suit your person. Khan and Molefe did that effortlessly. They just played their role to ensure that Ismail Vally is one of the people that actually gets the tender, even though the tender was later on challenged by people that were not successful bidders and had an interdict and challenged this whole thing. But these people are actually using their powers, the influence, crime intelligence influence, everything to ensure that they even change the specifications of a tender to suit a certain person's need so that they can provide those particular services to the subs. So their role was to fix the subs' cars. And Ismail Vally fought so hard through those chats, talking to Khan, ensuring that they literally get what they want from every party that might actually help them, including Fani Molefe.
Is that there is information that you could only have if you were talking to somebody inside. So it has been brought to General Khan's attention that they failed to include in their bid 3 provinces, and that this is something that needs to be rectified at some point. So the information is coming from somebody who is close to the process. Whether Mr. Fani is sitting on the committee or not, we would need to establish. But it's certainly information that he has access to.
So what Khan will do here with Mo Sayed as well as with Vally, he would conspire to use subs resources to neutralize Carnilinx competitors. He used improper attempts to manipulate procurement within subs for mutual benefits. Khan regularly shared confidential crime intelligence information to Sayed. But one of the things that I think are worth talking about with this testimony of Khan is that this man was very big on intimidation. He was one person that would intimidate everybody that comes his way. And I'll start with one of the journalists that were actually intimidated by General Khan. And that is a lady called Marian. So Marian is a Daily Maverick journalist who was investigating the tenders of the PPEs. And it looks like they had a problem with her and they wanted some counter operation against Marian Temin. And I'm not going to lie, I think this is something that these people have really thrived on. They've done it a lot of times, and they have always had a problem with people that were actually investigating them or that had a problem with them in a way, or we're probing. They just wanted to do their operations without anybody challenging them or actually questioning them, because it looks like they've been doing this for years and they've gotten away with it. And anybody who comes either from the media or anywhere and challenges them, they had a problem and they started intimidating those people.
Disturbing is that on the face of it, you have a senior crime intelligence officer informing another member of crime intelligence that a journalist appears to favor particular senior police officers, one of whom happens to be General Khan's superior. That's Lieutenant General Peter Jacobs. The response from the other member is not, well, journalists be journalists. It's, we need to do a counter. And there's no evidence that General Khan said, no, don't do that kind of thing, or trying to prevent him from taking any, trying to prevent the other officer from taking any steps that may be inappropriate. So what it shows is that there's a willingness to use intelligence, crime intelligence capabilities and crime intelligence resources for the purposes of using those resources against a journalist who you are not comfortable with their reporting.
Because also with the tobacco, we're finding out that even Yusuf Abramji was also part of the people that were intimidated. In a way, there were plans. They were trying to do something to him. Even though, Yusuf Abramji said that he knew that there were some things that were being discussed about him, but he didn't know that it was this intense, that they actually wanted to F him up. And I think all of that, it gets to show you how these people actually use intimidation to make people go away who are becoming a threat to them.
he takes a tax justice statement that I issued in 2021. Mo Sayed posts it to Firoz Khan because I named Carnilinx and their products as being involved in the illicit trade. And he says to him, in simple terms, let us F Yusuf Abramji up, right? Khan responds. Here we have a top cop, second in charge or third in charge of crime intelligence. He responds. He says, yes, let's do it. And then they continue. They use some derogatory terms against me, the P word. And then Khan says, we'll handle him, right? So that was a direct threat. At the time, Andrew, I must say, I had some suspicion that I was being targeted, but I had no proof. And this is the proof. This is now coming before the Madlanga Commission, right? Now,
can I ask you quickly,
yes.
How did you feel when you saw those exchanges?
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised. I was shocked, but I wasn't surprised because I've met Khan on a number of occasions, right? I've met Mo Sayed perhaps in passing. I don't even have his telephone number. And they were always very friendly and very, welcoming and so on in public places or at social events where I met them. So it came as a surprise, but also as a shock, because whether you like it or not, when you are targeted by people who are labeled as dangerous or are well connected, it has a human element in it, and you get worried.
And with the tobacco, I think it's easy to understand it now as we're about to enter into the stream of Ekurhuleni slowly but surely. Because we are finding out that there is Viandra Pretorius. We know Viandra Pretorius is part of the accused persons in the unaliving of Manuel Bense. And he was a suspect, but he unalived himself. And he also is a suspect in the unaliving of witness D, which is Marius van der Merwe. And Viandra Pretorius has played a very significant role in some of the things, these bad operations that have been conducted by Ekurhuleni. So this segment of Viandra Pretorius was started with a bang, and I don't know if you guys realize this. So what Advocate Skhakhane did is that he started by talking about how witness D, which is Marius van der Merwe, spoke about some extortion that was conducted by EMPD officers, and they were doing those hijackings and all of that. So in order for you to understand the background of this particular piece of the evidence that was given by the evidence leaders, it's important for you to understand what witness D said regarding the role of these people in these busts and all of that.
Ekurhuleni, Chris Smith from Track Squad and Etienne van der Walt, who owns Track Squad as well as Titan Security, all at some stage had appointment letters from EMPD stating that they form part of a EMPD truck hijacking task team. These letters were signed by Julius Mkhwanazi. They personally participated in operations where recovered or stolen copper, stolen cobalt, stolen chain store products was recovered, where it's always the team indicated, which is Kershaw Stalls, Mackenzie, Etienne van der Walt, Chris Smith, Ekurhuleni. At a later stage, Zander Fritz joined up with them. At some stage, even myself, in the beginning, participated in operations where stock was recovered. Only to realize that, and this is a question that most of us in our fraternity asked, is a truck gets hijacked, blue light hijacking, a week, 2 weeks later, there is an amount mentioned to the owner or the client that there's a recovery fee of 600,000 Rand or R1 million in relation to the hijacked goods. Then the stock would be recovered, it would be handed to the client with always a 299 letter from the Metro Police members. At one stage, Chris Smith was having paperwork to say that he's appointed by certain insurance companies to look for the stock, and then stock would be held back until the client pays a recovery fee. So basically extorted. This whole team participated in that, and it was done with Chief Julius Mkhwanazi's knowledge.
If you guys remember, even with the chats that we saw with Advocate Skhakhane, because one thing about Skhakhane, guys, That guy is, yeah, they do not call him Die Hard for nothing. That one doesn't die. You never finish Advocate Chakalaka. He always comes with some chakalaka, and it's so hot. It's hotter than the hero.
They do not call me Die Hard for nothing.
So, what he did, Advocate Skhakhane here, he started by showing us the chats between Mo Sayed and Viyanda Pretorius, because those people have a relationship, and it looks like Viyanda Pretorius also have a relationship with Khan, of which is not something that is so shocking, because we even heard from Witness D that actually Khan his name was mentioned in the crimes Emmanuel Bense, and how he was going to save the day, and that is what Viyanda Pretorius said in the particular scene regarding Khan. He has never met Khan, but he's just thinking that they were referring to General Khan, because Viyanda actually has a relationship with Khan. We even saw the pictures that these people have a relationship. So what they did is that they were using this guy, this one of Viyanda Pretorius. They were using him to actually conduct illegal stuff and actually go and steal tobacco from other companies or from their competitors.
One would imagine that if a bust is taking place in an industry, one doesn't notify players in the industry, even if they're competitors, while that bust is taking place. It's something for the police to do, not for the industry to be told about.
Mr. Chaskalson, when you started on this topic, you said that officer, whose name we will not mention, was discussing with General Khan the issuing of a card or a document to Mr. Pretorius. Is that card or document issued in terms of the law, or does it reflect that he's a law enforcement officer? What does it show exactly?
We do not know.
And Khan will also use his powers and resources to ensure that they give this one the power and the permits for him to do those illegal activities, from the blue light to that permit. And you might ask yourself, what is that permit? What is the permit about? If you guys remember very well with Julius Mkhwanazi's testimony on Mike Van Beek's testimony, there were individuals in the EMPD that were given permits and that were given cars for them to do certain operation. And one amongst many is the one of the hijacked the hijacked trucks. And I don't know if that also include this thing of the tobaccos. And that's how these people ended up having those permits. So that is why I want to ask you, and that's a question that I really want you to ponder on. Do you think Julius Mkhwanazi somehow has a relationship with Khan, and probably is the one that even allowed Khan to have blue lights in the EMPD, including above Viyanda Pretorius? And I think that this thing ties even back to Mike Van Beek, Muzi Matlala, and Khan, meaning all those people were literally using the Ekurhuleni to get the lion shares and the tenders, and actually use Julius Mkhwanazi. And this then takes us back straight to the fact that Julius Mkhwanazi, guys, the rot is too much. Julius Mkhwanazi has been used too much by a lot of people. If indeed what Witness D is saying is true, combining with what we've heard that these people had permits for them to conduct these illegal operations. And you know what is worse is that even after they've recovered that tobacco, it's not like they will take it to the police custody. They'll decide to just, you know what, let us chow it, let us give it back to the competitors or something else. They would not really take the legal steps for them to deal with that bust. So they used Viyanda, and Viyanda seems like he was doing the work for Mo Sayed and General Khan.
We know that the illicit tobacco trade, Andrew, is a hot potato in South Africa. It's been for many, many years.
It's worth billions.
It's worth billions and billions, and an estimated 80 billion rand gets lost to the fiscus every year. So you are dealing here with organized criminal syndicates, people involved in smuggling, in manufacturing the illicit tobacco, selling it, the runners. It's a very widespread problem, including corruption with cops, escorting the loads from the Zimbabwean border into Gauteng and other parts of South Africa. So Major General Firoz Khan is no secret. He's good friends with Mo Sayed. He is the COO of Carnilinx. That is the company that belongs to Mazotti and Kyle Phillips. Also very controversial figures. They've been friends for many, many years. And we've heard for a long time that the two of them have been wheeling and dealing, if I can use that term. And that is why the revelations now in the document, and specifically from the Madlanga Commission, where they downloaded Khan's phones, and we see this whole series of discussions and chats between Mo Sayed and Firoz Khan. Some of them include, he's telling Firoz Khan to go and raid certain premises of competitors, to seize the products. He then says, send the guys to the Botswana border, send him to Komatipoort, send him to this particular factory in the Eastern Cape, targeting some of the brands that is opposition to Carnilinx. And
that is how everything ties back with the issue of Ekurhuleni. And then you might ask yourself, Aibo, then how is Witness D's sister involved in all of this? Witness D, we were told that he was about to give information before he was unalived to the ENCA. And that information was really, really crucial and important. And before he could even do that successfully, he was unalived. And then his family was subsequently threatened. The sister even came forward and said she is being threatened by really serious top brass officials. So, I want to believe, and it's just a theory, guys. It's not a fact. It's just a theory. I want to believe that, which means they thought Witness D told the sister, because he was very close to the sister, about what people like General Khan are doing. Hence, they had to threaten, silence the family so that they don't have to say anything regarding General Khan being involved in all of this. Because one thing about General Khan is that he was everywhere, guys. He was like, I don't know, I've never had cancer. I don't know how cancer works, but we've heard that cancer just can be everywhere. He was literally everywhere. You could not avoid him. Every situation, General Khan is there trying to get the piece of the pie, the piece of the cake. And that is what is going on here. And I think Witness D was about to expose General Khan amongst many people. And they had to silence him. I'm not saying General Khan is involved in the unaliving of Witness D. But everything is just a coincidence that the people that are connected to the unaliving of Witness D are also connected to General Khan, Mo Sayed, and everybody. And from the track record that we have seen is that General Khan doesn't like people that are too much into his ears. He deals with them very quickly. He did that with Marian. He did that. He did that with Yusuf, and it looks like even with Witness D, nothing would have stopped him. He's a man who intimidates people. And we also remember Shongwe's testimony at the Madlanga Commission, who spoke about how he was threatened or in a way intimidated by General Khan. He spoke about, Shongwe claimed that the tobacco businessman Yusuf Kaji set up a meeting call with a distressed Khan, who asked why Shongwe was suffocating him. Shongwe was later invited to Khan's Sandton residence, where he alleges he was offered a 2.2 million per month tender and one of the 3 bulletproof BMWs, because we know that Mugai has Shimani and has cars left, right, and center, if he spoke favorably of Khan during the parliamentary inquiry. Shongwe interpreted this as an attempt to entrap or buy him out. In the most severe escalation, Shongwe testified that he and his pastor's daughter were hijacked and kidnapped in Tembisa the night before he was scheduled to question Muzi at Matlala and Kgoshimaburu Correctional Service.
Referring to, that's why I didn't bother to ask. I knew already what he was referring to, because now this is happening very fast, and I can't really focus on my daughter. Okay, what is really happening here, and how should I tackle this? But I decided, let me push in and then just finish this thing and move away from it. So I said, no, I'm doing nothing to you. I was referencing you, your name in this thing. I'm not looking for you. You even know that we won't call you on the ad hoc. You have voted out that you won't come. So it was just a matter of me referencing. No, but you are killing me. Then he touches his neck. You are suffocating me. And his eyes are now turning red.
Though he survived and attended the meeting, the allocated questioning time expired before he could raise the drug storage issue. Because that was what Shongwe was busy with, trying to investigate these consignments and how these substances were intercepted and how Khan was involved in all of that. And what did Khan do? Found ways to intimidate him and silence him. Even though I don't want to delve deep on the fact that it looks like the EFF leader, Julius Malema, somehow is involved in ensuring that Khan does not appear before the ad hoc committee, from what we've heard from Shongwe, and also the meetings that we've seen from the ad hoc committee. However, the chairperson of the ad hoc committee has assured the public that whatever decisions that they've taken, they took as the ad hoc committee, and they were very much well informed, and there's no one that influenced them. So I want to believe that the parliament actually did not want Khan to be there. It was not just the EFF leader.
We take ownership of the decisions that we have taken here as the committee. There is not any other decision that has been taken in our meeting, that we were induced, that we were under duress, that we would have been bribed to arrive at such a decision.
But talking about the EFF leader, guys, it does not look good, because from the information that came out, it looks like there was just a lot of entanglement between Mo Sayed, Khan, and Julius Malema in terms of tenders, in terms of the VBS, in terms of questioning of General Superintendent Dintwe, and they just wanted to just use each other. I think they were just using each other, favors for each other. If you do this for me, I do this for you. That is literally the crux of their relationship. Obviously, Julius Malema has replied to this and questioned the authenticities of the chats, and it looks like high chances he might be subpoenaed to appear before the Madlanga Commission. However, the spokesperson, Jeremy Michaels, has really shied away from answering that question. But that is something that is not rooted out or removed from this whole situation. It looks like high chances Julius Malema might find himself at the commission answering questions in relations to how his relationship was with Mo Sayed and Khan, in relations to him being used as a member of parliament to ask questions to bring down certain generals. In a way, they wanted to trap certain people.
I mean, Khan was very known to Julius Malema and all of that. But he doesn't tell how, and he says, I met Malema through Khan. He doesn't tell how he met me. He called, I went, and if we had a media with research capacity in South Africa, you should be playing that clip. I went to a rally in KZN. I criticized him about AK8's matter. I said, Mukwanazi, before he did this July thing, our favorite provincial commissioner, I love him so much, but I'm beginning to have doubts because he's not making a move on AKA's case, where a killer kills such a high-profile person in front of a camera, and we can't find that person. That makes mockery of the whole policing system in South Africa. Sensitive Mkwanas couldn't take that criticism. He called Khan and asked for a meeting with me. And Khan called me. Khan is well known. Khan is a comrade, well known to me. I knew him from the ANC time. In as much as I know so many of all of them, I'm not an arrivalist in the national politics. I know a lot of people.
How they used them in tenders and how he used them in VBS. All the things that we've heard at the Madlanga Commission that are related to Julius Malema. But because I feel like the segment was too short, I expected more, but I think more can only be provided if these individuals actually appear before the Madlanga Commission. Khan, Julius Malema, and Mo Sayed, who's currently on the run.
To the EFF leader, Julius Malema, who's responded through an affidavit, but will you invite him to come to the commission in person?
Well, let's see. This matter is in the hands, Pule, of the evidence leaders, and obviously the Commission is seeking to be fair to all those who have been implicated, as we have seen consistently. That is part of why the Commission has been taking strain in terms of its deadline. And so let's see what the evidence leaders decide.
So the EFF leader does confirm that obviously Mazotti did help the EFF and everybody else. And it looks like he is willing, as I've said, to go to the Madlanga Commission and speak and say his side of the story. Knowing Julius, he will definitely do that. He wouldn't mind actually testifying at the Madlanga Commission. But I think what is so shocking is how he was even using Khan for the Operation Dudula, to making people to be arrested at Operation Dudula. I think all of that gets to show you that, yeah, Julius Malema literally is anti this thing of illegal immigration, which makes you ask questions regarding leaders like Pagelung Tagati, Ngizwe Mkhulu, as well as Jacinta Ngobese. We know he's been in lockerheads with Ngizwe Mkhulu, going in courts left, right, and center. And I don't know if also that is genuine, because from what we see, guys, is that sometimes people are being arrested unfairly and people are using their powers and influence and connections to get people arrested. And it's starting to make you ask questions about a lot of arrests that have happened. We know that even from Tshwane, he was accused of Julius Malema of tenders. And we know that Fikile Mbalula Nze influenced the arrest of Musa Kaula It's crazy, guys. People are influencing, using their powers, politicians especially, to get people arrested. What do you guys think is actually going on here?
Save with inaccuracies, I will correct momentarily that I have voluntarily stated in the public domain since the inception of the EFF. As an example, I voluntarily stated at the EFF 10th year celebration event, which was perhaps the most widely publicized EFF event, that Mr. Mazzotti, who is the CEO of Carnilinx, donated funds that helped register the EFF. It is also a matter of public record that my wife used to reside at a property that is in the same complex precinct at Mr. Mazzotti, under a lease agreement, which is underlined. I place underlining emphasis under lease agreement, as correctly recorded in Mr. Nyatlo's affidavit, in contrast to other media reports and claims that I stayed there gratuitously.
Seated here, it's a man called Adriano Mazzotti and Mo Sayed. I'll ask them to stand up, because these are the two and part of their partners who have given us money on the day we were launching the EFF.
One of the most insane things about General Khan is that even after they've acquired all those tenders and they have all the money, they got 30 cars, because this guy had cars for days. And, you know, they were just living above. And even Advocate Hasim, told us how this guy literally, he was living way above his means, like considering the crime intelligence salary, of which it's not a shocker because we were told by Lieutenant General Nkwanazi that this guy is probably richer than some politicians. But it just so happened that on the day of his shooting, he was just shot in some car, like a low value car. Probably you find that he even hired the car, or it's an old car that he had. And it's like, you know what, even this one can have bullet holes, it's fine. But my luxury stuff, it cannot be having bullet holes, because it doesn't look like, it looks like that was some Ramokhonsi type of thing. I don't know. I'm just saying that it looks like some Ramokhonsi type of ish that happened. But who am I? I'm just a YouTuber. Then I want us to quickly move to some conspiracy theories. 2 conspiracy theories that I have deduced. Actually, let me just say 3. The first one is the one of the Murrays. So yesterday, News 24 actually revealed an article regarding the Murrays and the fact that it looks like with that particular case, General Khan is also involved. So these people, Thomas Kloot and Thomas Murray, were linked to crime intelligence top cop Firoz Khan's business associate with suspected unaliver, who worked at a firm for which Khan allegedly rigged a 54 million tender. So they are saying that the Murrays were actually investigating these tenders that were also including General Khan, and it looks like they were about to clamp down on some of these officials, including General Khan. And from what the News 24 is saying is that Bennett Jimenez, who's the person that shot, which is no more anymore, the one that shot the Murrays, worked for Khan's associate, which is Ismail Vally. So about those motor spares and all of that. And 2 years later, before Murray's unaliving, Khan and Vally rigged a 54 million treasure Transvaal contract to supply and deliver an automotive part and tools to the state for a period of 36 months in favor of Kazan. Fani supplied Khan with the PDF copy for then draft specialization of the auto tender, which was later passed with Vally. And then Vally prepared a tender application in advance and asked that certain specifications be changed for him. So some of the things that we're talking about at the Madlanga Commission. And it looks like somehow Vally was captured in a vehicle that was driven by the person that ended up shooting the Murrays. So that is how all of this whole thing ends up being connected. So that is one of the conspiracy theories that have came forward. And they said that some of the testimonies that they said they're going to conduct out in camera, like in the closed session, because of the investigations that probably the police are still busy with regards to the Murrays, and they didn't want to really delve deep on that in terms of speaking to the public regarding that. But some of the theories that General Khan might be involved in the unaliving of the Moores. Then we have the case also of General Mfazi. General Mfazi, guys, was very much big on the PPEs. Even though General Mfazi, we've heard that he's the one that actually appointed General Khan, gave him a much, higher position and a promotion. But we know that he was one of the officers that were actually investigating this PPE.
It does seem like Mfazi at the time of his death was dealing with a number of high-profile matters, one of that being investigations into the corruption involving the PPE tenders. Whether that's directly linked to his death, we don't know just yet.
And we don't know if he was about to clamp down General Khan, but we know that he was part of the people that were at the forefront of that Aritin drug bust, which General Khan also has been heavily implicated on. So I don't know if he was investigating Khan or what was going on, but we've heard that right now his case has been moved to unaliving because it seems like he was poisoned. At first he said that it's because of COVID, but it looks like the entire thing has changed now.
Murder investigation. You will recall that Lieutenant General Mfazi died on the 8th of July 2021, shortly after testing positive for COVID. So initially I think everyone thought that he had died of COVID-19 related complications. It was only after his family raised the alarm and approached the then National Commissioner that the National Commissioner then instructed the then ID as well as the SAPS cold case unit to look into those particular allegations. We can confirm that in the same month his body was exhumed. There were examinations that were conducted that confirmed that a poisonous substance was found in his body.
And that's another theory that the people have started suspecting Khan that he might be involved in all of this because this guy was investigating top cases, including the one of PPEs, and we know that Khan was very much involved and interested in these things of the PPEs. He's not the only one. Obviously, a lot of people had the motive. We know that Babita also was unalived because of what was going on at the Tembisa hospital. A lot of people were unalived, DJ, when it comes to this particular season of the COVID-19. But I'm just saying that these are some of the things that people have came with as conspiracy theories and wanted you to ponder on. And other people obviously might be involved with General Mfazi, but others have raised this issue in terms of the PPEs, the fact that he was investigating that, probably he was silent. Obviously, General Mfazi was not only working on those investigations, he was also investigating illegal sale. He was also investigating the Phala money laundering and illegal sale of over 1,000 firearms by substitute drug dealers and gangs in the Western Cape. And those guns had unalived over 3,000 people in Cape Flats, including teenagers, women, and children, destroying communities and families. Lieutenant General Mfazi was also investigating the illegal sale of the SANDF missiles and ammunition property rights to a company in Dubai. The sale was done a few months into Ramaphosa's presidency, so he can blame the previous president government, but Lieutenant General Mfazi uncovered the truth. So these are the investigations that he was obviously dealing with, of which most of the information regarding General Mfazi, I want to give credit to Bas. It's Bas or what? But there's an account on Facebook as well as Twitter that is Bas. That account has been talking about General Mfazi, and I want to give credit to that account. He or she has been talking about General Mfazi, and I just want to give credit to her as well. Then I wanted to quickly move to Imogen Mashazi. So Imogen Mashazi also, it looks like Sayed and Khan played a role in the UK trip. From what has been said is that Sayed forwarded Khan copies of the UK immigration entry of Imogen Mashazi and charter permits from the UK aviation authorities. And the questions that have been asked by the evidence leaders, I think they're very justified, because she even said that it's not an ordinary private trip. It was funded by someone else, 3.3 million, someone paying 3.3 million. Raises a lot of questions as to what were they there to benefit from all of this. Senior municipal officer failed to even declare all of this, which is Imogen Mashazi. Who benefited beyond Mashazi and friends? And she even said that that person definitely expected something in return. General Khan was provided with this trip info, and what interest did he have since he was provided with this information? Because that is the role of General Khan more than anything when it comes to this trip. What did Khan do with the information? Did he refer to the Hawks, NPA, or relevant authorities? Because the fact that Imogen Mashas did not declare this, as someone who works in crime intelligence, could have make sure that there is investigations that are conducted. Instead, doesn't seem like Khan did all of that. So here, what I want to say is that we're seeing a classical example. Imogen Mashas, guys, we know, who was a city manager in the Ekurhuleni, and it makes sense for them to actually want to work with her because she could have easily given them the tender. Look at what was happening with the tobacco. I think they just wanted all the control with the tobacco without any disturbances. And working with Imogen Mashas, it would have really helped them to have a smooth sailing in the city of Ekurhuleni. And it goes back to the point that I was saying. I wonder how intense is the relationship of General Khan and Julius Mkhwanazi. And I think when he appeared at the Madlanga Commission, no one asked him about Khan. He felt very, very relieved. But I think over time, we'll find out more information regarding the relationship of those two individuals.
That General Khan is provided with this information, and that his receipt of this itself is significant. And the question would be, what interest did he have in this information? On the face of it, it's not apparent what interest he has in receiving this information. And the fifth and final point I want to make is that the question would be not just what interest General Khan had in it, but what did he do with the information? Did he refer it to the city or to the Hawks or to the NPA? One would have expected, normally one would expect that that would be the normal course, that it would be referred to the relevant authority or something would be done with it. It would seem not, because Ms. Mashazi held her position as a city manager until last year. And this trip took place in 2022.
Then the last conspiracy theory is the one of Advocate Skhakhane. So we know that recently Advocate Skhakhane there were people that went to his house and started stealing information and documents and all of those things. And we know that Advocate Skhakhane has been working in high-profile cases, including the case of Julius Mkhwanazi, of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the case of Masemula right now, the 360 million tender. He is the legal counsel of the on-leave commissioner, and also the suspended commissioner. And also, he's working on those cases of Pala Pala and everything else. He even said really important words and said that for you to get all the information regarding the cases that he's working on, you'll have to unalive him.
Only be those elements that are part of the establishment that would have a problem with my clients.
Where does this leave your work with all this digital information having been taken?
Well, it's not all that was taken. So I actually have my information with me. You know, most of the things that are too sensitive for me, I've learned this over years. I keep them where someone would have to kill me to get them. So most of the things that I work with that I think I would suspect people would want, I keep safer than something one would get when they walk into my house. So thank God it's something that I'm able to have, and information for my clients that's sensitive remains with me.
And these people that went and stole stuff, it just made him to be aware that there's actually people that actually want certain information. Doesn't look like it's something that is the first time that it happens, but also it's a very worrying thing because his family, he stays with his family, doesn't stay alone, and it's risking the lives of his family and everybody else. With all the information you know, guys, with the war that is happening with the IDAC and the SAPS and everything that has been unfolding, those notes that were found in the crime scene implicating Dumisani Khumalo, and how it looks like Khan is literally trying to clamp down the three which is Dumisani Khumalo, Fani Molefe, and Lieutenant General Malema-Khan-Sayid. I don't know if he's the one that orchestrated that with Advocate Skhakhane. I don't know if Skhakhane is a threat to him, but that's another theory when it comes to threats that one ended up thinking about. What is he even involved there? Because it looks like Khan, as I've said, he's everywhere and he works with intimidation.
They just took the laptop and the desktop, yeah.
And just also, is everyone else okay at home? They were in when this happened, weren't they?
They are. I don't know whether they're pretending to be okay, but I think they're fine. I think we're used to this. It happens every time I have things that are sensitive over the past 15 or 10 years. So I suppose everyone is good, although they were present when it happened. But I suppose we've learned not to be afraid.
You are currently representing Arthur Fraser in the Phala Phala matter. Do you suspect this might be linked?
You know, without speculating, Andrew, I mean, I hate speculating. I think when people take your laptops and desktops, you know exactly what they wanted. And if you know the trouble they took to get to my yard, they had to actually use another yard to get into it. So it makes you realize that what they wanted is information, and it's speculation that one is left with when something like that happens.
I know you sound pretty blasé, but this is not the first time this has happened to you, is it?
No, it's not. It has happened a long time, and many times it happened. I'm not even blasé, but you know, fear is not an option, but it's not something comfortable. It's something people do, and you have to learn to live with it, because the opposite is being intimidated.
You told one newspaper in the past 24 hours that they have tried it whenever I am doing cases of this matter. I know you don't want to speculate, but I have to ask you, with a statement like that, who do you think they are?
Well, I think it's people who are enemies of my clients. And if I'm doing a matter for clients that are sort of sensitive, or people suspect that they have information, they think I have the information too. That may or may not be true. But I think it has to do, if they were looking for information, I think it has to do, I suspect it has to do with those kinds of clients, like Mr. Fraser, like General, like Mr. Fraser, like General.
And they work by going to these journalists' offices, lawyers' offices, to ensure that they get certain information to see what are these people working on? What do these people have on them? What do these people have on the people that they want to clamp down? So all of that makes you just have these many theories. And it's just theories, guys. It's not the truth. Hence, I even said this is a segment of conspiracy theories that are there against General Khan, which I spoke about the issue of General Mfazi. I spoke about the issue of Advocate Skhakhane. So all of these are just theories that one came up with and thought of whenever this testimony of General Khan just was given at the Madlanga Commission. Nonetheless, guys, let me hear what you think about everything that has been unfolding and the intimidation of General Khan, the testimonies, everything that has been happening with General Khan. Obviously, more is still going to be unfolded and still going to be spoken about at the Madlanga Commission as I sit down and listen on your behalf, and then we'll come back and really talk about such things in such videos. And let me hear your comments in the comment section. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.